Chapter 175, I'm here too. It was an extremely wise choice for you to sleep in the arena. To recover your mind power and prepare for battle, Hu Nanzhong said with a smile. Thank you for your reminder, Mr. Hu. I will remember it. Zhu Tui smiled happily and returned to the arena. Hu Nanzhong's reminder was very pertinent. However, Zhu Tui felt that he could be a little more thick-skinned if he had the chance to earn more contribution points. Not only was he poor, but his cultivation consumption was also much higher than the others. There was not much suspense in the following battle. However, just like Hu Nanzhong had reminded him, he could not underestimate his opponent. A fire-type superb individual from the India sector's mystery branch attacked fiercely from the start of the battle. With a snap of his fingers, a large ball of flames exploded in front of Zhu Tui. Zhu Tui was flustered for a while. He only won after he activated his mental shield and controlled his flying sword to disrupt the fire-type superb individual's attack rhythm. At that moment, Zhu Tui started to think about genetic ancient martial arts. If he could complete the lesser heavenly cycle genetic chain from genetic ancient martial arts, he would not have to go through such trouble. Of course, there was no chance of killing him. He Kai, the referee on duty in the India sector, stared at Zhu Tui like a hungry wolf. He did not give Zhu Tui any chance at all. Zhu Tui had 3 consecutive victories. However, Zhu Tui's mind power was consumed much more than he had expected. He thought about it and followed Hu Nanzhong's suggestion. He turned around and left the arena. The candidates who had yet to participate in the actual combat heaved a sigh of relief. They were really afraid. They were really afraid that Zhu Tui would kill the remaining 3 in one go. They would not even be able to get a share. They still had 2 opponents to fight. Of course, no one would blame Zhu Tui for this. This was what Zhu Tui had risked his life to obtain after killing Rank Han. The battle exchange had come to an end. However, at the end of the match, the India sector produced another wave of excitement. There were still experts among the remaining second-year students in the India sector. One of them actually managed to win a match by trading injuries for injuries. It could be said that he had saved a little face for the India sector's exchange delegation team. Of course, he had only won 1 match. Zhu Tui enjoyed the way Gong Ling looked at him like he was a hero when he returned to the arena. Actually, Zhu Tui wanted to rest his head on Gong Ling's soft thigh and smell the faint fragrance. Unfortunately, it would not be appropriate to do that again. He had to be thick-skinned, but not too thick-skinned. He sat beside Gong Ling with a clear conscience and enjoyed the various snacks that Gong Ling provided. Zhu Tui took advantage of his free time to browse through his personal Weibo account. He was overjoyed when he saw it. 500,000. The number of fans directly exceeded 500,000. His battle with Azari, Saluka, Rank Han, and the topic of protecting and Zhao Xoxui swept the top for trending topics in the special Weibo circle. The number of fans was still increasing. As for the comments, he could no longer read them. Zhu Tui only took a few glances and saw many unique comments. Many people left messages saying that they wanted to have monkeys with Zhu Tui. They even exaggeratedly left their contact details. Zhu Tui could not understand. How could humans give birth to monkeys? He deleted the message without hesitation. His gaze landed on the number of fans again. He had 500,000 fans. This was already at the level to be certified. He could definitely accept a small advertisement or something. He could earn some money to make up for his pocket money. In the message, there was already a message from a merchant. He would put it aside for now and take his time. Most importantly, he did not understand this aspect. It would not be fun if he was cheated and dragged into a ditch with his fans. Zhu Tui had risked his life to obtain these 500,000 fans. It was precious. About an hour later, the actual combat exchange ended. The 2 remaining people in the India sector had fought 3 rounds. They had won 1 and lost 2. At the same time, the number of people guarding the arena in the India sector's exchange visit group was cleared. There were still 4 people left in the Wuxia sector. It was a victory by a large margin. Since the competition had ended, there would naturally be a segment when the leader spoke. Wen Xinglan's speech was very popular. The reason why he was popular was because it was short. Principal Wen Xinglin's speech was very short, unlike some leaders who could not stop talking and waste the students' time. According to our Chinese tradition, if a wolf comes, there will be a wind. If a friend comes, there will be good wine. Later, I'll hold a banquet to get drunk with my friends from the India sector. 1. Principal Wen Xinglin's speech was very brief. However, it had an indescribable but very clear deterrent force that attracted the students' enthusiastic applause. The participants of the India sector also said a few polite words. The exchange conference had also entered its final segment. The teachers from both sides gave their final summary. This was something that the students loved to see. The first to speak was Hu Nanzhong, the teacher in charge of the Wuxia sector. He first praised his students' tenacious character and fighting spirit. Then, he aimed his firepower at Zhu Tui, Kui Shi, Kai Hongying, Miao Huanshan, and the others. Zhu Tui, who was below the stage, felt a little embarrassed. Finally, he praised his opponent slightly. Haruji, the teacher in charge of the India sector, went up to give a summary. As the victors, the students of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College really wanted to hear the conclusion of the defeated party. This time, I led the students to engage in actual combat with the second-year elites of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. I benefited greatly and discovered many shortcomings in our cultivation. It could be said that this was a fruitful battle exchange. However, apart from being full of rewards, I have a little regret. Haruki suddenly changed the topic. Wen Jianlin, who was acting as the host, immediately asked Professor Haruji, "Can you explain what your regret is?" It's like this. When I came, I heard that Zhao Saxui, the youngest professor in the mystery branch of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College, is extremely powerful. As the youngest professor of the new India Genetic Evolution College, I had once posted on Weibo that I wanted to fight Professor Zhao Saxui. Unfortunately, Professor Zhao Saxui from the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College has been avoiding the battle. Before Haruji could finish speaking, there was a commotion outside the venue. Zhu Tui also stood up abruptly. He glared at Haruji. He did not expect that Haruji, who had lost the entire team, would actually cause trouble in the end. Was he trying to take advantage of Zhao Xu's refusal to fight to save some face for his failure? Looking at the commotion outside the arena, Haruji's lips curled into a smile. His method of saving himself was still effective. After returning to the India sector, he should be able to salvage a portion of his reputation. The punishment from the higher-ups should be lighter. Anyway, he knew very well that Zhao Saxui was injured and would definitely not fight. The moment a smile appeared on Haruji's face, the silver-haired beauty who had been sitting quietly in the guest area suddenly stood up. "Haruji, I heard that you wanted to challenge me and Zhao Saxui. Now, I'm here." Ang Xiaoxu did not have a loudspeaker, but her crisp voice could be heard clearly throughout the venue. As soon as she finished speaking, the tall and slender Zhao Saxui took a step forward. It was as if there was an invisible staircase in the air. And Zhao Saxui stepped on the air with every step she took. She directly passed through countless spectators and barriers and arrived at the combat arena. At this moment, Zhao Saxui, whose silver hair fluttered in the air, looked like an immortal. Only the blue mask covering her face was a little out of character. Zhao Saxui, who was standing in the air, said as she walked, "Professor Haruji, there's something I have to remind you. I'm a professor at the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. If you want to challenge me publicly next time, please inform me through official channels, instead of sneakily calling me on Weibo. I'm very busy all day long and rarely look at Weibo." After she finished speaking, Zhao Saxui also stepped into the air and landed on the combat arena. The emotions of the audience were instantly triggered. Those who had just left their seats returned. On the internet, the audience exclaimed for their friends who had just turned off the live broadcast to quickly start it again. There was something shocking happening. In the combat arena, Haruji was shocked when he saw Zhao Saxui walking up the stage. Zhu Tui was also dumbfounded. The one with long silver hair was Miss Zhao Saxui.